Hey, what do you know? You're here, I'm here. We're at another video. What do you say we talk about vocabulary and operations today? Oh, sounds good. All right. Well, I'm glad you agree. So, as you can see, today we are going to cover this idea of like what happens as we start to get into word problems and story problems, right? Word or story problems. And what's great about this, right? Because often it is math, and then all of a sudden they're throwing a reading component into it, is we wanted to start thinking, are there certain words that help me understand math, right? Are there certain words I can look for, like especially in a story or a word problem, if things are if there's a lot going on, can I try to narrow in on something close, like on a word or two that would help me make sense? And that's what we're going to look at today. And we're going to do that thinking about operations. So that's actually our first vocabulary word, a word we want to start hearing and using a lot, that when we're talking about operations, we are talking about the things we do with numbers. And in this case, we're going to talk about adding and subtracting, right? We also can multiply and divide numbers, right? Those are other operations. There's actually 4 total operations, but for the sake of this video today, we're going to just focus on adding and subtracting. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at, I'm going to squeeze a little chart in here. We're going to look at like, what are some words that help me think about whether I am adding numbers together, which I guess that would be a word right there, add, or whether I'm going to subtract. Okay, and I'm just going to give you those words. We're not going to hunt and spend time. I'd rather just put them down on here. And I would highly recommend you're writing these down. Like, this is something you should definitely have in a journal so that you can always go back and build on. Okay. So if we're going to add, one of the first keywords we use a lot is sums, right? Sums means the answer to an addition problem. So what is the sum, right? We also might think about words like total or combined. These are words that when I see them in a story problem, I know I'm putting things together. So I'm going to be adding. We might also, I just said it, didn't I? Together. That would be another one, right? Together or all together, sum, total, combined. These really help us think about adding numbers, okay? With subtraction, that first key one is difference. We say that a lot. Difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. And then we also have this tricky one. It's like a lot of the times it's like more than, or maybe even less than, but less than helps a little bit. But it's almost like this idea of something that comes across as blank than. That's actually subtraction. And that can be tricky even with like more than, right? How much more does someone have than another? Well, that's a comparison. So we're always looking for the difference between that. That's why we subtract, right? How much older is one person than the other? Again, we would subtract their ages to find the difference. So that's a key, kind of that blank then. I'd be looking for that to help me think about subtraction, or even maybe something like left or like leftover, right? How much do they have left over? So these are just a few of them. There's so many more, but today let's kind of like take these and go in and approach and think about how we can solve problems by really pinpointing these words and then doing the math that we know. So let's dive in. We got our first problem here. It's about Miss Nave. It says Miss Nave's lifting weights to get ready for the National Arm Wrestling Championship. Good luck to her. She did 45 arm curls in the morning and 31 more in the afternoon. How many arm curls has she done total? Total. Right away, right? That was the word we talked about on that first page. So I'm already thinking, oh, total. So I see that we have 31 and we have 45. And we're going to find a total, which means we're going to add. So I'm going to start with my number sentence. That's always key. Or excuse me, my equation. And I'm going to write that down first. I know I'm going to take 45 and I'm going to add 31 and it's going to give me an answer. I don't know. I'm going to say N for Nave. I don't know yet. That's the equation part of it. Okay, well, now let's solve 45 plus 31. In this case, I'm going to use a number line. That's a strategy we've been using. So I'm going to practice with that. And I would really encourage you at this point, go ahead and pause the video and solve this, and then let's come back and see what we can do together, right? So welcome back. You know, with the number line, right? Here's my first number. I'm going to start here. And now I'm going to do some hops and some jumps, right? Now, with adding, I like to think about the expanded form, right? That's something we're going to talk about tomorrow a little more. So you'll see that in a video. So here's a quick preview, but we've looked at this before about like what the value of each is, right? So I have 3 10s. So like those are my jumps. And then here's I have like 1 hop. So I'm going to do 3 jumps of 10. So again, adding 10s, we talked about that earlier in this week. So there's 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps. And if I'm adding 10, I'm literally just changing my 10s place. So this would be 55, right? 1's place doesn't change. This would be 65, and this would be 75. And then I just need 1 hop. Boop. That'd be 76. Okay, now, cool thing about a story problem, and we've talked about this all year, is my answer is not just 76, right? I need to have a label. So I want to finalize everything. I'm going to write 76, and it says how many arm curls. So I'm going to say 76 arm curls, and this would be my answer. So again, using vocabulary, I saw that word total. So even if I'm not even sure what an arm curl is, I got to be honest. I'm not a bodybuilder. So I really have a feeling, not even knowing that term, I could still find total to solve my problem. I didn't get hung up on that. I am hung up, however, on the idea that Miss Nave has done 76 arm curls to prepare for arm wrestling. I feel like she would destroy me in an arm wrestling contest. So I'm not even going to challenge her. All right, let's see what we got here. Miss Doxy collects surfboards. Okay, so she has this goal 2-2. Well, not like a ballerina. I think that is a typo. So this goal to have 83 total surfboards. Okay, that's her goal. So far, she has collected 17. How many more does she need? Aha! Aha, aha, aha. How many, right? That many blank, that many more, many less, whatever it may be. Already, I'm like, oh yeah, that's subtraction, because I do have to compare. I have to think about if she wants 83, she's at 17. What is the difference between there? What happens between those numbers, right? So my equation is going to be 83 minus 17 equals D for Doxy's surfboards. Let's base 10 model this one. Let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this. I have my 10s, I have my 1s. Remember, I'm going to only model the first number. So I'm going to have 3 1s, 1, 2, 3, and 8 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay, now we're subtracting our second number. So the first thing I need to do is subtract 7 1s, okay? But I can't do that, so it's time to decompose. I'm going to break this down into 10 1s, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we can take away 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means I have how many left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We need to take away 1 10. I already took 1 away, so I'll just take away that one. And now count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Miss Doxy needs 76 more surfboards. So there's my answer, 76 more surfboards. Good luck, Miss Doxy. I don't have any to hand out to you, but if I come across any, I'll let you know. Okay. All right. So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to go ahead and see what you could do with this one. Pause real quick, try to solve. And this idea, Mr. Shadid once had 93 hairs on his head. He has lost 67 of them this week. How many hairs does he have left? All right. So pause and solve. Thanks for coming back. I had 93. I took 76 away. Oh boy, how many do I have left? Well, let's do that on a number line. Oh, that's going to be H for hair. Okay. So remember, in subtraction on a number line, we start here and we want to get to 93. And we're going to do that with hops and jumps. I'm going to start with some hops to get me to a 10. So that was plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So that's 70. Then I'm going to do a jump to 80. That's plus 10. And a jump to 90. And then 1, 2, 3 to 93. So now we just add these up. So 10 and 10 is 20. 3, 4, 5, 6. Aha! So I have 26 hairs left. 26. All right. So that's the work we're doing. Again, pay attention to key vocabulary words. Give this a go. As always, appreciate you for being here, and we'll see you next time.